What do you think when you hear the word sustainability, nature preservation, balance? Together, these elements they encourage the growth and allow the society to develop, taking care of what is around it, protecting the beauty of our planet, and guaranteeing the well-being of those who's been here for a long time, and for those who are just starting their journey, and those who haven't arrived yet. The room is the earth is the planet is the home of everyone. Let's be conscious and let's be aware of what's happening, that what's happening today will have an impact in the future. Hello, excellent morning to everyone. Welcome. It's a pleasure to start this week with you. So, welcome to this public live at CVC Corp, the largest travel company in Latin America. We have some guests here today here in this study. It's very important to highlight that we are following all the protocols against COVID-19. Our production team, guests like me and everyone else, we are all negative to COVID and we are safe. So as a journalist, I have to be here. We work with information and I like to show our solidarity and all those who are at the front line in fighting COVID. In our country, who has almost 440,000 deaths. And we're going to talk about change. That's the word that we heard in 2020. The world has changed. Commercial trade has changed. The way we work has changed. But there's one thing that hasn't changed, and it's more intense in each one of us. It's our willingness to travel, to know new places, new countries, and engage in building a better place. And because we have the earth to live, and tourism is one of the drivers of the future. Celebrate and respect other cultures, and like having that wonderful plunge in the ocean, tasting new foods, or celebrate an important stage of our life, or doing business with other countries or right next door. Tourism is one of the most important sectors in the global economy. It mobilizes huge supply chain in tourist professionals, like from the travel agency, airline companies, tourist guides, and the companies that are dedicated to receiving this tourists and the attractions. So everybody's together with a single goal: to allow the dream of traveling to everyone. And this supply chains moved $9 trillion and $170 million in 2019, contributing to 10.4% of the global GDP. This pandemic scenario brought some challenges to this sector, and little by little we are getting back into business, and we know that our future is very promising. So we're here to talk about future. CVC Corp, one of the largest travel groups in Latin America, is opening a new chapter of its history to make public its commitment to sustainability, and we invite all the tourism change to board this new stage. And the CVC company, which is originated CVC Corp, will have its 40 years anniversary and make public its commitment to sustainability. It's a long journey that starts today, right now, putting sustainability first in CVC Corp's business strategies and in the future, to allow all the tourism system to follow us. So sustainability is a long journey, and it's very necessary that every memory of our travels can be memorable. So I'd like to invite you all to fasten your seat belts and board the plate to sustainability now. To you who has always shared dreams with me, I have something new to say. Despite all these challenges that we are experiencing, I can see better days. But a lot of things depend on us, especially us who work with tourism, the sector with pillars sustained by the plurality of people and respect to the environment. My mission has always been to make traveling possible. Many millions of Brazilians have traveled with me, and now my vision has changed, and they are looking further so we can change your vision too. How one of the largest Latin American travel groups, me, CVC Corp, and all of our brands, we've sealed a commitment to sustainability to 2030 with the UN Global Compact Brazil Network. To honor it, we created the REprogram, a platform that's going to act in the whole tourism ecosystem, starting from 4 strategic axes to reduce the footprint and generate destinations and communities, impacting positively our ecosystems and generating economic development, respecting diversities, promoting inclusion, and celebrating differences, and re-educate audiences, contributing to the training of this new tourism, more careful, more responsible, more aware. It's going to be a long journey with a lot of learnings, and it's not going to be easy, but no dream on ease. So during this journey, we'll have an integrated and consistent work, and till then, we'll keep connected to our goal. It's going to be a continuous journey, and little by little, because from the orange to the destination, back and forth, we want the same thing. We want to travel and don't leave any footprints, only footprints in our communities. We want to take memories and leave only hope that will come back later. We want that come back again to be true. We want all destinations to be strengthened and be alive for future generations. We want to generate value to the whole chain, mobilizing the whole tourism market. Me, CVC Corp, I take this responsibility with you to perform crucial actions so we can travel together and dream together in the future. REprogram CVC Corp, sustainability from origin to the destination. I can see, when I see this video, I long for traveling. I want to go to Bahia. And for this, I need to call a guy from Bahia. Leonel, from the CEO of CVC Corp, is going to tell us a little bit more about all this news that we had. We talked about Bahia. You are from Bahia. We had to talk about that. Welcome. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you, and I'm going to start asking you something. Could you tell us why it's such a priority to talk about sustainability and include sustainability in the CVC Corp? First of all, it's obvious. We're doing what is obvious, obviously, because this company has 49 years of history, 49 years of success, but the world has changed and we need to change as well. It's our home, it's where we have our people, it's where we are, where we exist, so it's obvious, I'm going to repeat myself, that we'll focus in this topic. Yeah, a company needs to think about the planet. It's the only place for us to live. It's the only home we have. CVC Corp is launching officially the sustainability policy. You're going to see a QR code on screen, and you can find out more about us. And this strategy is called REprogram CVC Corp, REprogram CVC Corp. It's born with several beacon actions, and they are connected with all these trends. In practice, what are those main guidelines, those 4 guidelines, the actions that we are going to allow today? Well, thank you. Everything has started when we revisited together with our employees the values of the company, redefined the purpose, which is to get people to closer together. And one of these values is our commitment to sustainability. And that is now a value of all employees for the whole company. And with that, we started in the beginning of the works last year. We started with an internal group, and then we called an external partner to help us. And after long months of work in managing the company and also the board of directors, we've defined our strategic guidelines, and we are launching today a long-term commitment to do every day a little bit more, for the company for life. Among our guidelines, the first one is of the reprogrammed CVC Corp is to reduce our carbon footprint, to create a CVC Corp standards of sustainability, reviewing our internal process, creating good practice, and also mobilizing our business partners in this journey. Our goal is to reduce our carbon footprint to have a better planet. The second guideline is to generate destinations and communities. We live from these destinations. Historically, we are the national leader and the company that's taken more Brazilians to know Brazil. So we can be proud of it, thanks to our background of very good people working with us. We managed to create the Brazilian tourism. CVC has always been the company that's been the leader on that. And in this case, we took people to different communities, and now it's time that we can actually work with them to preserve what they have best for future generations and future tourists, so they can have a better world than the one that we have. So in the third, we are talking about reducing carbon footprint, regenerate destinations, and re-educate our audience. Re-educating our audience goes through our commitment that these people from the communities participate together with us and have opportunity to preserve the planet and improve the environment, and also to live out of tourism, because our responsibility is very high, because we want tourism to do well. We need to receive this service. We need these people to have the opportunity to live, to sustain themselves, recreate, and have a healthy life living out of tourism. In this sense, one of the most important points is our second guideline, which is respect diversity. There's an internal diversity program. It's very bold, but we want it to reflect the world. We live in this world, and we take people to visit the world, and our clients are tourists. The millions of CVC Corp tourists, they are very diverse, and we are launching now this diversity program with an internal commitment. We want everybody, every group of people with their representativeness to be part of this company and feel respected and feel good working with us, with a possibility to build a career, and we want that to reflect the community. This is our largest commitment for us as managers, and to the outside world, we are recreating destinations, reducing footprints. But those 4 guidelines, those 4 strategic commitments, they will transform the company. And besides everything, we've lived out of tourism, and we are proud to say that we know tourism in Brazil and we know tourism in the world. When you talk about tourism, talking about destinations, products, channels, but now you're talking about the tourist. We want to be the company, the largest company that knows tourists the best. And tourists want to be cared, want to take care, and want its home to be represented even better. So that's our commitment. It's a pleasure to relaunch this commitment today, a commitment of a firm future, bold management, but more than necessary. And it's obvious, as I said in the beginning.
It's an honor to be part of this launch today. To all the people who are following us, we're talking about sustainable development. Another good piece of news, not aside from the four pillars that you mentioned, is the commitment with the UN Global Compact. It's the largest worldwide initiative regarding sustainability, and now CVC Corp is part of this global compact, and this signals the commitment to this evolution until 2030. And what does this agreement mean for CVC Corp? Yes, it's essential and very interesting. This compact, global compact, is a relation of trust, and being part of this UN Global Compact means that we are adhering to the best solutions in the world regarding sustainability that we can have available. And all these SDGs, we're going to support very strongly SDGs 8 and 12, because being together with the UN is following what's best in the world regarding this subject. And when we enter this global compact, generates to all of our internal community, to all of us who are responsible for organization, really generates this commitment of continuity, because we have signed this agreement and now we have to honor it with the best solutions in the world and the largest organization that represents the planet, which is the UN. So it's very satisfying to be part of the global compact, and very interesting to be with all employees who are focusing on this initiative to a single goal. I think, Cynthia, this sums up very well. Yes, I want to hear you, still want to hear you more today. I'm going to give you some time to drink some water, but we'll come back to talk to us. We have more people to call here to our floor to talk to us, and also talking about the Global Compact. This is the largest sustainability action for corporations around the world, with more than 16,000 members in more than 160 companies. The term SDG also focuses on the social and governance pillars, and it was elaborated within the Global Compact. Within this agenda for 2030, it materializes the seven sustainable development goals, like combating hunger and health and welfare, education, gender equality, environment, climate change, water and sanitation, energy, and other pillars as well. The tourism activities are included in the 17 SDGs of the UN, and it will be going to emphasize the 8th goal here today, which is focused on decent work and sustainable economic growth, and SDG 12 with responsible production and consumption. So to talk about the importance of this partnership and the agenda for 2030, I'm going to call our executive director for the Brazil Global Compact, Carlos Pereira. He's going to talk to us remotely. Carlo, good morning. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you really well. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Yes, very good, and good to have you here. Good to have this assistance from technology to have you here. Welcome. Yes, thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here with you. Like Leonel and Cynthia said, I don't have much more to say, but I'm going to bring you a few elements. Good morning to everyone who is in attendance, and a big pleasure to be here with you today. Cynthia already said that the UN Global Compact is the largest corporate sustainability initiative in the world. Yes, now I can see my screen good. And we have 16,000 institutions in more than 160 countries and 70 local networks. And this is interesting because this is an initiative by the UN for the corporate sector. Here in Brazil, This is a reason for us to be proud. And of course, CVC is essential for us. It was something that was missing in our network. In Brazil, to feel this pride, we have the third largest network in the world, the largest one in Latin America, more than 1,100 members, and was recognized as the main institution in Brazil. And what we do here is we help the companies to implement sustainability and the SDGs into their strategies, into their processes. These are the SDGs. Leonel mentioned them. I'm not going to go one by one, but basically they are a good definition. And it's very interesting because they have the to-do list for humanity. So that's what we need to do in order to have prosperous people in a healthy environment. So people who are prosperous in a healthy environment. And like Leonel said, we have tourism here, and tourism is normally related to the SDGs 8, 12, and 14 as well, because it deals with water life. So it's very interesting for us to consider. And another thing that's very interesting for us, probably most of us, we don't know this yet, but tourism is one of the few sectors in the world that has a specific agency inside the UN. Not a travel agency, of course, but an organization, a body inside the UN that is dedicated to tourism. Why? Because we believe that tourism, with no doubt, like you can see in SDG 8, it's a promoter of development and also of the need of doing all of this, considering responsible consumption and with a special look on our seas, which have been harmed so badly in the last few decades. But of course, like Leonel said, we're focusing on these SDGs, but we're not leaving the other SDGs aside. I mean, he talked about gender equality and diversity and every other subjects like racial equality as well, which are distributed all over the SDGs, mainly in SDG 10. So the companies related to tourism they have really a big impact on all of these SDGs. Talking a little bit about the importance of the companies, I'm not going to talk a lot about in this slide here, but the companies now are the entities that are the most important ones in the world. In which meaning? In terms of economic power, and as a consequence of that, or not only that, but also because they're the only institutions that are reliable nowadays. But it's not me who's saying this, it's the population. We have like a barometer of trust, and this survey in 33 countries says that the only institutions that are trustworthy today are the companies, and the most reliable figure is the CEO of this company where this person works. So this makes companies have a big responsibility in this matter, and this is what CVC is doing here today. This slide talks about the SDGs. Of course, they impose a challenge, but they have gigantic opportunities related to them. Here's Klaus Schwab. He talks about the transition of economy from shareholders to stakeholders. And what does this mean? This means that it will be always required for companies to focus on financial turnover, but not exclusively, like Klaus Schwab says here. And we have here also Tania Constantino talking about what companies need to do. Like Lionel said, we need to educate the people inside and outside the company, and the companies are well positioned to do so. Here, this slide, just something that I mentioned about the CEOs being trustworthy and the expectations that these leaders act in issues related to the society, even if not related to their business, but assume these commitments that are measurable, and this is what CVC is doing today. And I would like to congratulate them and Leonel and the entire team. Another important issue we're going to mention here, Larry Fink. He is the CDO of BlackRock, and BlackRock is a company that manages assets with 9 trillion in management of assets. So approximately 5 to 6 Brazilian GDPs under his management. So everybody stops and listens when he says something. So you can check last 4 letters written by Larry Fink with structural changes in the financial market and acceleration of the movement of the tectonic plates. I'll sum up what he means is that companies must have the purpose aligned to society, and this purpose must be aligned to society because purpose and profit are related. That's what he reinforces in his second letter. In his third letter, he talks about whether climate change, and the fourth letter is a response because he was talking about the response of the sustainability movement would slow down because of the pandemics, but he said that he says that it's the same kind of movement as tectonic plates, and it has been actually accelerated due to the pandemic. This is a chart just for us to see our moment. This is PRI, institution of the Global Compact. We can see that responsible investment, they have more than $130 trillion under their management, more than many financial institutions, including BlackRock. Here, to understand the ESG, the fever that became in Brazil, this graphic, I think it's green in the low part. It shows the global impact, how we mentioned in social networks. And the yellow one is about 2020, how many mentions we had in social networks. So the subject is hot in Brazil right now. And like Leonel said, we have to act. And how we're going to do it, that's the thing. How can we capture value to the companies considering sustainability? And don't kid yourself, for those Brazilian companies that act in Brazil, they have very large comparative advantages regarding sustainability. Our role is to identify these opportunities and make it into competitive advantages. So here is the Global Compact. It's structured, when I said we have 1,200 institutions, it's structured in the 7 platforms of action here. I'm going to talk about them. But the Global Compact is a huge platform for projects and initiatives today. There are 50 large projects going on simultaneously, and the Global Compact is a network. So CVC is joining. They're not just adhering to the Global Compact, but they're joining to make a difference. They're joining to create initiatives and projects together. And these initiatives that I'm talking about here in this platform, they have already 50 to 150 organizations in each one of them, and they will decide which type of projects and initiatives they will undertake. So here is my invitation to everyone who is here today with us. In addition, we also have what we call the thematic movements. So equity is a priority, which started last year and focuses on having more women in high leadership positions. Last year there were 19 countries and 21 companies in Brazil with public goals for women in high leadership. And the startups are very important in this matter. But for us, the effective impact on society, we need the large companies on our side, and we need the CVC Corp as well, establishing its commitment like it's doing today. Uh, and this year, we are going to 52 countries who are joining us to join this Equities Priority Program. We have two goals: either 30% women in high leadership positions. The average in Brazil is now 16%, and up to 2025, up to 50% until 2030. So we're introducing this here in Brazil.
Para aumentar to increase the amount of black people as leaders in our company. Besides all that, carbon, I think you've heard of companies that are establishing targets of net zero. You've heard that a lot, carbon neutral, and same terms that are pretty much the same thing, and the global recognition where all the companies must be, which is a science-based target. And that's an initiative of WWF and CDP. And here we have two impacts in the Global Compact. One of that is impact through an individual initiatives, companies looking at themselves and establishing targets for themselves, or collective actions. One of them is Blue Keepers, which deals with circular economy, ODS 2, ODS 14 for oceans is here as well, which is a circular economy focusing in reduce plastic in our oceans. And that's an initiative started here in Brazil. We have many institutions here, companies, civil society, public companies, governments, so that we can manage to fight this issue, and so that we can have. I like to dive, so I've traveled for driving a lot, so I want to have healthy oceans for the marine life, but also to our pleasure. So this is my final slide. This is one of the programs that we have in terms of leadership. I would like to invite Leonel to be part of that. We understand that we need leadership together with us, because the leadership will finally give a guideline on what we are trying to do. Leonel, I liked very much what you had to say in terms that it's known that sustainability brings a financial reward, financial benefits. We have many studies. Our friend Rachel Mize with us, and she can tell us about all SEG topics, and we know the returns. The studies are there for you to see. So why we have to do that? Beyond the financial rewards, we have to do it because that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do. So thank you very much, and have a good event. Thank you, Carlos Pereira, the Executive Director of Brazil Global Compact Chapter, bringing our most important pillars, that people can walk together. And because we're part of the whole, we realize how hard it was last year when we had to understand why we need so many people working together so we can follow the same path. Thank you, Carlo, and we're going to talk again later. Have a good day. And so far, we know that this path, this transformation path, can only happen if you have a change in culture. And for that, us, people, are crucial. And how CVC Corp is going to start this journey? For this, I have the People Director and Sustainability. Good morning, Paula. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for our audience in this event that's so important and marks a journey that's so relevant to our business. And to talk about change, I need to talk about culture, I need to talk about transformation. And everything that we are showing here today starts from inside out. And here I have a chart with a dream that represents the activity of every employee here. The central letters N is to be guided by sustainability. That means to have an attitude that is aware, and that's going to guide us, and also preserve diversity. And we have what we want here is a reflection to all of our employees to follow sustainability. Sustainability is more than culture, is a way of doing for CVC Corp. It's more than culture. And I'd like to share with you how our strategic planning, our execution, and our governance will give the guideline and sustain this program or REprogram. We start with our planning pillar. We created a directory, a department dedicated to sustainability. And these areas, this department is going to be in charge of all that, and to bring together the CVC Corp standard and other initiatives that you're going to have to present to you, employees, to the market, and to our business partners. And to go further, we created a diversity committee with which comprises of people from all of our business, because you understand that with this diversity we can create structured actions and tangible actions for our future. And following this diversity, and I'm going to talk to HMI, is educate for change. Since last week, the 3,000 employees received a learning track. And for that, we reflect the importance of taking care of the environment, of the society, and all these topics we've already heard from Carlo. And it's based on education. Education is the first step. It's extremely crucial for this revolution we are proposing here today. Besides this track, we also have a handbook on sustainability. We talk about prejudice, unconscious bias, our judgment to other people that may be innocent but may be naive. Diversity is beautiful, but it can hurt people. So diversity embrace people and bring results to our company, and it's part of responsibility and empathy. What I'm going to bring here is the discussions that are already part of our minutes. We have the volunteer program. We have already employees registered for that, and you're going to see actions that help us to collaborate with others. We know that the others need to be taken care by a group that is such a CVC Corp. And last but not least, we need a very serious governance. So HMI is here with us, and they represent our board of directors in sponsoring this reprogramming. And that makes me very comfortable to say that we have focus and we have discipline. And without that, we are going to overcome all commitments, and we're going to get there. We're going to reach all commitments that we are signing with you today. And the Global Compact, it requires commitment and governance for our evolution in every action we take. We have many actions we want to embrace, and we're going to share some of these commitments with you. But my commitment is to bring seriousness and execution to our business. So to go beyond our 3,000 employees, the REprogram will impact our whole network of franchises, hotels, our ships, our reception people, everything in pro of these millions and millions of clients that every day will make eternal their memories with us. So we want to transform tourism, building a better planet, and that makes us proud. So it's in our hands, this change, right? Talking about this impact, it's like when you throw a stone on the lake and you can see all the waves impacting. So the impact all over the world is what we want. So Paula talked about H.O. Minor. She is the counselor and represents the. Rachel is here, and I'm going to read her CV. He's a CVC counselor, advisor for CVC since 2021. She's been a controller of CNA, 7-Eleven, Novartis, CFO and CEO of Tiffany Jewelry Company. So she's been the CEO of Pandora Brazil for 9 years, Lacoste Brazil for 2 years. As I said, not only an advisor for CVC Corp, she works in the Soma Group, Banco do Brazil, and Vale. And Rachel also founded the Capacita Project. She's also the executive president of UNICEF Brazil. So much more to say. She does a lot. It's a pleasure to be here today. And you forgot to say that I'm 50. I'm 50. You have such a CV. I mean, you've been doing so much in this world, impacting the life of so many people. Thank you so much for being here today. It's our responsibility. We have to go through this world, but we have to have an impact as well. So just reinforce that we are two Black people here. Thank you for the invitation. We had so many qualified professionals to be here, but you got a Black woman to be here to inspire other presidents, other executives, that we are talented and we have experience to share. Two Black women talking about a company that want to shine even more. That's it. So let's talk about CVC. Rachel, as I said, since she arrived as an advisor in March 2021, she's been contributing very strongly in sustainability and diversity, of course. And I'd like to ask, why it's so important to talk about generating value, sharing value, and to the longevity of CVC Corp. First of all, it's a company that recognizes the need of sustainability as an ecosystem, part of an ecosystem. That's a very important point for CVC. And making this value to be shared, not only in one sector of the company, but that we can bring a chain, we can create a chain, and this chain generates value. One pass the value of sustainability to the other link of the chain is to be a sustainable business. And that's the step that we are celebrating today. And to make it happen, but to make it happen in a way that the whole ecosystem will be shared and connected. The sustainability program is here to tell you that we can be a successful company. We can take the message to all of our clients, but also we can take the message to share sustainability, to be a company that is sustainable in the ESG, environmental, social, and governance. To do it very transparently, I'm here because I have a council that supports that. Other members of the board, we have another woman board member and others that are there, and we had the opportunity to show to the board from what we can see here today through this sustainability policy that we can take the message of sustainability, diverse and social, and we can get committed, as Paula just said. And what are the commitments? You told us very briefly, but I'd like you to go deeper. Yeah. No question about that. We have a challenge commitment because we need to reach 50% of employees representing diversity. That's a huge commitment. And from this 50%, we are committed to have at least 2030, to have 20% of leadership represented by Black people. I got goosebumps. I'm going to repeat. So, CVC is committed now with all of you that until by 2030, we're going to have 20% of our leadership of black people. So we have to embrace, we have to look at a company like that and say, man, there's something different that, and that's what we are trying to do. We are bringing difference now in our modus operandi, making that all of us in this company, you, client, investor, employee, that by 2020, we are going to have at least 20% of our leaders, black people like us. Yes. And me as a black woman,
I'm gonna talk to you back on that because I think that's very important. For us who come from the universe of journalism, which is a very wide universe, and it's important to bring this diversity. Talking about diversity, there's thousands of challenges, and you as a leader, one of the few leaders, unfortunately, one of the few black leaders in such a big company. What are the biggest challenges for us to bring this inclusion, to bring these issues and these matters to our environment? Yes, Cynthia, when you talk about your universe and about what you live and what you experience, and people look at that and say, "No, Cynthia, that's not. These things don't happen." But there are so many other Cynthias. We represent 56% of our population. The population in Brazil, demographically speaking, 56% is black. So we can't just say that the sector, if you have two or three people there, you have their space. No, we have to educate people, like Paula just said. Yes, we have to educate people, but we have to take this journey, take part of it, and this is very important. And we'll be able to change things, to change this process when we bring more plurality to our company. The way we hire people must change. We need to create more opportunities for other companies who are in the suburbs to be able to capture these talents from the suburbs and then make it plural, bring it to this differential. This will be the way we can innovate, bringing people from different places. We can't always keep getting the same people from the same colleges, from the same agencies, or things will be the same. We really do need to go to agencies in the suburbs. We need to go to talents in the universities that are not recognized, and this will generate new opportunities. And generating new opportunities, we have the opportunity to have a diversified way of thinking. And with that, we'll be able to innovate. That's how we can do it. Yes, we recognize the quality of the large universities in Brazil, but we have to emphasize that I come from a university that is not big, renowned university, but I only needed an open door, an opportunity, and that's what you're talking about, and we have to emphasize that to all of our audience here. Exactly, Cynthia, and you don't have to feel ashamed to assume these quotes, these affirmative actions. Make part. Take your part in it. Recognize this opportunity that the society is giving us due to a previous debt that the society had with us. So we support all of these actions, these affirmative actions, and what CVC is doing here is an affirmative action, bringing this commitment of 20% of their leadership of black people until 2030 is an affirmative action, and it's recognized. But it's a big, huge challenge because everyone out there is saying it's not possible. And he came here and said, yes, it's possible here at CVC. We are a company that is beloved here in Brazil, and we want to continue, but we want to recognize Brazil here inside our company, not only in the pictures. Yes, that's it. The responsibility with diversity, with the end of racism, especially having white people on our side. I think that's the most important. Please, can just come a little bit closer to me? Can I use my mask then? Yes. Just reinforcing here that everyone was tested for COVID and everybody's negative, but we will still follow the protocols. I have my mask here. Rachel is waiting to talk again. She has her mask, but I'm going to call someone else here on our stage. Leonel and Paula will come back, and I'll call someone who hasn't come up here yet, but she's the CVC Corp Sustainability Manager, and they're going to present the public commitments of the company up to 2030. I will ask each one of you as a way to signal to our audience. We have more than 1,200 people connected to us, and it's wonderful to have all of you here with us, right, on a Monday morning to reinforce this commitment and disclose the CVC Corp commitments up to 2030. I'll start by Rachel. She's going to talk about respecting diversity. Yes, respecting diversity. I'm going to repeat that once more. Leonel with the council and Priscilla and Paula, we got together and we want to have 50% of our employees representing diversity and 20% of the leadership up to 2030 to be composed of black people, people who represent our country. And I'm really happy to be part of this council. Leonel. Yes, thank you very much, Rachel. We are really happy to have you here in our council. Thank you so much. Our second commitment for 2030, we are here to assume the commitment of reducing our footprint, but we're going to start with an internal example. Our stores will be changed and transformed into a point of sustainability that represents our commitment with this strategic pillar of reducing the footprint. So all of our stores will have a new model, a new template, a sustainable model, and this is the best example we can give to our planet, because this is in our stores. That's where the experience of your trips start, and we have to do this to have a better world for CVC and for everyone. Yes. So what does create value mean? Sustainable stores, new trips, and this is the commitment that Leonel has been working and managing. We have to work together, and it's important to mention that when I talk about sustainable stores, the stores will be disclosed very soon. I will have an event going on in the next few weeks, I think in the beginning of June, with our franchises, and I'm going to present the new CVC stores, which are going to be built over the next few months. This will be a store that provides a sustainable experience in the first place. Now I'm going to give the floor to Paula so that she can continue with our commitments. Yes, Lorel, our next commitment, like you already said, the beginning of a trip starts in the CVC Corp store. And I'm going to talk about the destination, because our sustainability is from origin to destination. So we have to promote not only the economic development of our destinations, but until 2030 we have the commitment to mobilize the stakeholders and resources to preserve 2 Brazilian biomes. And we're going to create a series of thematic products with positive impact for our country, and volunteer programs that will include several actions that are tangible actions that we're able to regenerate our country as much as it needs. Now, I'm going to just reinforce here, people, they are all wearing masks here. Everyone got tested for COVID. I'm not wearing my mask just to not, because the guy with the audio is going to have a problem, so I'm not wearing the mask. But that's why I didn't put on my mask, but at the end of the event, I'll put on my mask as well. So now, Priscilla, the floor is yours. Yes, to close this commitments with you, our fourth commitment, not as much as important, which is to educate the audiences. Education must be the center of everything to connect our partners, and starting with our internal management and our employees. And for that, CVC Corp is now assuming the commitment of having good practices and disseminate good information and good content to all our audiences. also partner development programs to put education to all our employees and stakeholders and act as a good reference in terms of sustainability. Excuse me, sustainable tourism. It's we're talking about sustainability, and it's important to remember that this we already talked about this issue of sustainability. Everyone came here in an electric car. I never had driven in an electric car, and so I'm going to ask for help here to get this commemorative. Marcelo brought me this. These commitments that we assumed here for 2030, that everyone is connected together for this movement. It's not only be alive. We have we would like to have live events with everyone present, like there were before, and it can be alive as transmit broadcast as well because it has a better reach. But we want to have live events. Just remembering this commemorative plaque is provided to CVC so that all car rental points are going to be carbon free with carbon neutralization by Movida. And the whole CVC team here, we have this recognition by Movida for this partnership and this commitment that you have assumed until 2030. It was in some other moment here we would shake hands, but unfortunately you have to do it with social distancing. Lionel, it's the floor is yours to start our wrap up here. First of all, I'd like to thank Movida, a historic partner of CVC, and we're going to do this project together to build a better world, and especially to be closer to our directives. Thanks, Movida, from the bottom of my heart for the support and for offering this experience so that we can even make our event even bigger here. Everyone came here with, using an electric car, and this is very important to reduce the carbon footprint. And then I would like to thank as well a lot of my colleagues here at the company, not only those who are here, but our thousands of employees and our franchise owners as well and their employees. We are part of a community that employs today more than 13,000 people directly, and all of these people have this commitment as of today to create a better planet, to create a better environment, to make diversity really represent what we are inside our company. So it's important to keep in mind that we don't want heroes. You want that all of us assume small examples. We're wearing our masks here. It's not preventive because we all did the COVID test and everybody's tested negative, but it was in terms of an example. And every one of us here giving this example, we can change the world. If we do small things, we can do big things and change the world. We can't change everything, but we can always improve a little bit every day. I think this is the largest commitment of our organization. So before we wrap up, more than 2,000 people who are watching us, I want to know how we're going to take these steps forward. And these are some of the questions that people who are following us. The first one is for you. So what are the initiatives that are being taken so that all the executives in the company can assume their commitment? Yes, I think we're going to start changing the world by changing our own house, changing our colleagues, changing our employees. From the lowest level of the organization up to the board of directors, everyone must focus on these commitments. Like Paula said, we're going to develop not only programs of internal development, but also commitments. And we're all going to be remunerated and recognized for our sustainability strategy to make it become a reality. But no one's going to be introduced into that without a lot of training, with a lot of conversation, dialogue. And we're starting the program today, and as of next year, it will be part of our lives, of our career, of our development, and part of our salaries as well. And among all the points, Paula talked a lot about the volunteer program. This is an example that we have in our company that we're going to keep incentivizing and promoting. Each person needs to do their part, and the company will support it. because this is our obligation and it's our commitment. And each one of us will give this as example for the tourism, for the tourists, and for the planet. Yes, there's a lot of questions here. We're going to see, we have a lot short time. People are asking, how is it the internal transformation in terms of sustainability and diversity? Yes, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for the question. We believe in execution. Sustainability, to be successful, you need focus, discipline, and delivery. So we have indexes for all of our initiatives. And at this whole moment that Lionel commented, this education, we're going to follow this with indexes and going to try to raise the level of engagement of our team. And this has been embraced by our team in a very special way. Our indexes of groups of diversity, we still have to limit sometimes the number of people because there's a lot of people who want to take part in this journey. So after this training and education, we go to practice, we go to actions, and we have followed with goals, and we have indexes so that in the end we can able to overcome all of these challenges that we assumed.
Just like Lionel said, starting next year, our targets will have an impact in the compensation of our executives and our team as a whole. So we believe in that. Besides all that, we believe in engagement. And I'm very comfortable to say that that's what our company represents, our team represents in everywhere in Brazil, Argentina, and all over. And we have a commitment to bring you all of our evolutions, our progress in terms of Investors' Days, with the Global Compact, to have all transparency and consistencies that this system deserves. Now, Rachel and myself, you were talking about the inclusion, the target of having Black leaders in the company, and we got a very interesting question here. We still have lots of questions and things to talk to you about. Be curious, like me, I have a lot of questions to ask. So we have something very interesting for you. What are the main affinity indexes? We talked about races, but it's very important for trans people, for example, to feel embraced so that they can feel comfortable in the company. What other groups you want to embrace in this company? We have 4 very clear pillars, but I'm going to add, if you allow me, because before we had companies focusing in business and time. So now it's not. We have business, we have time, and have people. Time. And that's the tripod that brings together a company. And it's very clear from what our president just said that it must be consistent, it must be continuous. So our franchisors, our employees, our clients, there's no meeting where we don't bring the topic people in the agenda, and that's crucial. We need to actually bring it to the table. If you don't do that, you'll be left aside, and we don't want that. So we have always people talking about that, about the 4 pillars, of course. Race, because we have a demographics here in Brazil that represent 56%. So we couldn't start a sustainability policy without a program starting with 50% of Black and brown, non-white employees. That's one of the pillars. And the second is gender. We need to have the plurality. We need to have more women working, talking, sharing, bringing this mindset, this complementarity. We don't want to take over anyone. We are just fighting to have a space. So that's the second pillar. And the third pillar that's very important is that before people were embarrassed to say LGBTQ plus is part of this company. Your orientation should be respected. Lionel made it very clear. Respect the other. If you don't respect the other, you shouldn't be here. That's very important. We brought, in a way, I feel really emotional when I talk about that because we bring it very original and very, very unique. We have many things to discuss, but it's important to realize, we need to understand that our country, we have around 23% of the population is PCD. We have to open space for that. So we have to open a space for this new generation. We have 4 officials here, and the generation is also part of our company. So we are going to be working with 5 pillars, 5, Paula. I brought 5 to you, Paula, and it's on your hands, Paula. It was a surprise, but Rachel brought us this bonus, and our society divides. The groups of diversity that Rachel mentioned deserve that. I will repeat: race, gender, PCD, LGBTQ, and generation. So you have to keep on top of all that. Yeah, it's very important what you said about generation. We have so many qualified people, so much experience that it looks like if you were older than 40, you're not worth it. So it's young people, old people living together, working together, will bring a better environment to the company. And these people, our clients, can see that. To feel comfortable where you are, look at people like you, is always really great. So we have a long way to go, a lot of work to do, Paula. And she's the man, she's the woman. One of the things that we mentioned in the beginning, Leonel, there was a question for you here about that. Let me show you. How does CVC can impact society? Actually, not this one. We've talked a lot about the impact in destinations, in the communities where people are going as their destination. Do you have a definition of these destinations that are going to have received this impact? Yeah, we need to be very ambitious, but we need to define where we can make a real difference. All of our employees, our partners, and our clients, the tourists, they will always be encouraged to do the best to wherever they go, giving the example, being the example, but doing the minimum. We transport millions of people around the world, and in a year like 2019, before the pandemic, we managed to transport more than 15 million people, and now in one quarter we are carrying 2.5 million people, and soon you'll be back in carrying like 20 million people. So if each one of these people bring something, it will make a huge difference locally. And we have a commitment to 2 biomas. They haven't been defined yet. They'll be defined together with the society, with our clients, and of course with our employees. And those 2 biomas, we want to adopt a concrete example of sustainable tourism. And the company and the local community will work together to make the change happen. We are going to prove that it's feasible and it's possible to keep our planets healthy with tourism. When you talk about sustainability, I saw you agreeing with them. Do you want to add something? Yes, this destination pillar. We know that Brazil is the nest of biodiversity. It's a huge nest. So we are inviting you to access our institutocvc.com.br. It's live already, and there's ways you can participate. So I would like to invite you all to get to know a little bit better this work that we are in the process of developing. Now, Paula, back to you. We have a question. When you talk about CVC standard of sustainability, how you're going to be following up all this process, and how you're going to start with our partners. We're going to start with the stores. All new CVC Corp stores, you're going to announce it soon, but I'm going to give you a spoil here. These new stores, they are coming with the standards of sustainability. We're going to have access to handicapped, to wheelchair people. They're going to bring a lot of standards that are bring a lot of value to our brand, and the client experience needs to feel this purpose of value, and it's to be guided by sustainability. Not only our stores, our suppliers and partners are also be positively impacted through our new standard of management, following some sustainability focus. And of course, we are going to be choosing that because strategy is to say what connects and the most important priorities, right? So right now, we are ready to start building. So everything that is out of standard, out of specification, and that's where we have our appetite. We are going to be able to support our partner, and that's a strong characteristic of our business and what helped us to get where we are today. And then we are going to embrace our receptions, everything that make it happen to our clients, establishing standards, and standard is target is indicator, and with our indicators and Priscilla's team that's being structured not only to establish but to follow up on governance. And that's how we believe that positive results will come to life and how we can expand this program more positively. And we talked a lot about the possibility to have an impact. And we have a question for you, Rachel. How a company like CVC can have an impact in society? We've been talking about impact in business, people in the company, but how can it have an impact in society with this commitment to the REprogram? That's what I'm going to say. It's commitment. Commitment is the right term. We are committed to the society, not only with the image. We want to show content, because content is gonna allow us to share to the society, share the content that I have leadership, I have sustainability to the destination, that I'm bringing it to a country like Brazil with so much natural wealth, and we are committed. They're going to take care of all that, not only in exploring or draining this wealth, but also taking care of it, like giving back to the small communities. And that's very important. And that's very important when Paula said that when you have 3 steps on to how to share the commitment and then be accountable, we have to have a society that's live and it's dynamic, and we'll ask for this accountability. CVC is the largest service company that we have, and it's saying that it's gonna be careful, it's gonna take care. It's want to be a benchmark, want to be the best in business. How are we gonna do that? We must be very attentive. It's very important that PI and indicators, we must be very attentive, very careful, because it will be topic to say, okay, let's work with sustainability because it's beautiful. It's nice. No, because it generates wealth to the society and generate wealth to us. So it's a two-way lane, and we must be accountable on our commitments. Goosebumps. I'm the only one? Now, Leonel, we've talked about CVC Institute. I'm going to ask you a question. How it's going to work and how the CVC Institute is going to do its business. The Institute represents our commitment. It is a vehicle to make everything that we are trying to do happen. The Institute is an organization that is going to take from us to the market and from market to us everything that was important or that is important. I'm the president of the Institute because I want to represent the company and show how important it is. But I have other colleagues with me, and we have Paula and Priscilla who are going to act directly at the front line of this initiative. It's just a vehicle, but at the end it's going to take our value purpose to make things a reality. Yeah, the Institute is a nonprofit institute, and we'll be looking at all the opportunities in biodiversity, in how we can support these projects that are so important and everything that has to do with biodiversity. And in the future, we can develop projects, work with scientific research and other initiatives in everything that has to do with biodiversity. So here we have an invitation for all of you to get to know this institute. And I'd like to thank you all, a specific group that's been working as volunteers. Once more, we need people. And I have ask you for you, Paula, the targets, the diversity targets that you have. What are the diversity targets for the company as a whole? Rachel brought the pillars, but how is it going to work? How do you plan to make it work in practice?
Yes, to 2023, have an increase of 10% of our board of black representative. And this is the goal that we're establishing for our leaders of our company, like Leonel said, by means of dialogue, of the importance of and knowing the importance that this subject brings to our productivity as a business. Another goal that we're going to be working with, like Rachel said, in the PCD pillar, this is already being linked to the goals of 2023. In addition, talking about something else other than goals, all of our pillars are controlled by a business demographic panel, and we are able to look and how each area is being perceived and is evolving and acting in potential areas of improvement to increase this even further. Diversity, I tend to say that all of these four commitments, I think, is the more pragmatic and the one that is more present in our discussion agenda. Like Rachel said, this subject is present in all of our discussions within the teams and with our board of directors, because we believe that diversity is not a culture mantra. It really turns into productivity. We create better solutions to our clients because we have a diversified look on everything, and we really do believe this genuinely. And this is not only a big satisfaction and this feeling of belonging for employees, it's essential as well, because in the past, the employees were looking for a career. Now they are not looking for only for a career, but they're looking also for a proposal. So they ask of us, how can we improve in these matters? And I think that this is that makes us proud for all of us here. This project involves thousands of employees, thousands of partners, and on behalf of creating a new tourism, our clients deserve it and our planet needs it. So we're together in this in a very sustainable way, and we're going to exceed the expectations that we are defining right now. Yes, yeah, Rachel, I think Rachel wants to add something. Yes, and not only with the talent program, we're going to add these two items. Very simple. I want a talent, but I want a talent that represents our diversity. And so it's not the same modus operandi. It's this answer that this person asked is we're going to improve our modus operandi. We're going to look for talents, but we have adapt with society. If you're not only if you're talented, but if you represent diversity, it's going to be even better. And that's your place at CVC. Okay, so we're going to the end of our questions here. I have one more for Leonel. Natasha is asking how REprogram will be expanded to include all the brands. Yes, REprogram is for all of our community, and the multi-brand network, which are the agencies who work with us, they're an integral part of our strategy and of our business. Therefore, these stores, this multi-brand network, will be invited to participate with all of our partners and air travel, land travel, all sea travel, all the whole community will be invited to participate. And our business with the multi-brands really represents the strategy of CVC Corp. So sustainability will be included in this strategy, and everyone is welcome to join us. Now, another question, I think it's our last one, unfortunately due to our time. can we promote that the actions that each productive chain can change the current situation of like a predatory tourism? Yes, I would thank your comment. If we didn't have these challenges, we wouldn't be here, right? If we didn't have a lot of challenges to improve our diversity, improve our planet, improve our team and our whole chain, we wouldn't be here. So we're here assuming this public commitment that we're signing, and we're going to make it happen with all the difficulties and challenges we're going to face. We are going to be an example of what we are proposing here. So you're signing the commitment. Yes, that's 100% sure. If you allow me, I would like to reiterate a few points. First, where we're starting our closure thoughts here, I'd like to thank everyone here and the team who worked to make this event happen. Remembering also that we had some external partners. I would like to help for my friend Ricardo Votolini, Idea Sustentável, who really helped us and was inspiring to have this event today. So from the bottom of our heart, we're going to honor the whole work and the idea of sustainability to the market. And I would like to say that our diversity, it represents the best thing we have in the country. And here in Brazil and inside CVC and Argentina, where we have strong operations, it's my personal commitment and commitment that I will assume together with my board of directors, and we will make it happen. This is not only to talk here for nothing. This is value. You can be sure that everything that Rachel said here about the pillars of diversity, we're going to make it happen. We have several examples, and we're going to continue to grow and assume this commitment, and will be an example for the organization. If you feel that you are of a diversified audience, you can come to work with us. We have the opportunity to grow and to contribute to society. Another point that I would like to emphasize here is that, in fact, it's really good to be here. It's really good to have the support of all of you and to know that we're going to do something, but that this little that we're going to do is essential and it's good for our planet and for communities and good for our lives. We are all young here. We have a bright future ahead. And I'd like to say, if you are a shareholder of CVC, thanks for your trust and for your belief. This is made for you and for us together to transform this organization and be an example in terms of tourism all over the world. And finally, I think we have to highlight our gratitude. Everyone is here because we have this planet that supports us, and we have to pay back. And I'm pretty sure that CVC Corp is going to be the transformational agent of tourism and going to continue to be the leaders, and tourism will go back to normal soon. But we're not going to have a new normal. We have the normal again, but a little bit better, because it will going to be more sustainable because of the example of CVC Corp. We believe in the country, we believe in Brazil, we believe in Argentina, that we're going to be examples. And soon we'll be all traveling around the world to visit different places. So far, please take care of yourself, because for us, a good client is a healthy and alive client, and you will be here in due time. And we'll keep moving forward with life. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and thanks for all the support. Let's move forward. Thank you, Leonel, Priscilla, Paula, and Rachel. It was wonderful to be here this morning. I learned a lot. We want to change the world, right? We want to spurt us. We want to vote for Barack Obama or Nelson Mandela, but this has touched the hearts of someone, and we're going to change the world, and these people are going to change the world for someone else, and then the wheel turns. I would like to thank you, Cynthia. Brilliant work from the bottom of our heart. Good to have you here, Rachel, as well. You represent our board very well. Thank you for your support. Paula, congratulations on your work, for your initiative and your leadership. And Priscilla, you have to lead this transformation, right? You here working for us for a long time, and you have a noble new mission that you deserve. Thank you for your trust. There's hard work ahead, all right? We have a lot to do. Everyone, thanks again for being here. Thanks again for your trust. I'd like to have more time to be with you here, but I have to work as well, have other things to do. People have to work, so we can't say, oh, just one thing. We have to thank our Libras translator. She's done a essential work to bring our message to everyone. And so thank you for your work. It's brilliant work. We have two translators here behind the cameras. And have an excellent day. Have a nice week. Start with the right foot and be connected with us. We're going to watch the message of REprogram CVC Corp.
Reprogramar significa refazer planos, mudar rotas, alterar destinos. Vale para uma viagem, vale para a vida. Toda mudança importante começa com o ato de rever, repensar, recriar, reinventar. Re quer dizer de novo, também quer dizer novo. São muitos os temas novos em turismo. A sustentabilidade é o mais desafiador deles. E por uma razão muito simples. As pessoas já não querem mais viajar deixando um rastro de pegadas ambientais e sociais nos deslocamentos, nas acomodações e nas comunidades de destino. Querem um jeito novo de fazer turismo, mais consciente, mais respeitoso às pessoas e ao meio ambiente. Desejam ir mais longe sem se afastar dos seus valores éticos e compromissos humanos. Aspiram sonhar, descobrir, conquistar e, ao mesmo tempo, melhorar o mundo. Nós, da CVC Corp, queremos exatamente o mesmo. Por isso, criamos uma estratégia de sustentabilidade que tem o nome de REprogram. Cobre toda a cadeia de valor do negócio e se organiza em torno das ações inovadoras em 4 P's. Reduzir pegada, regenerar destinos e comunidades, respeitar diversidades, reeducar públicos. Nosso propósito, renovado, segue sendo o mesmo na essência. Realizar o seu sonho, a sua experiência de viagem, só que mais sustentável, de ponto a ponto, da origem ao destino.